I still remember the exact night it started. It was a chilly spring evening in 2006. I'd been a homicide detective for over 20 years, and I thought I'd seen it all. Then the phone rang. An 18-year-old kid named Jake Miller had disappeared. Good kid. Worked nights driving his dad's old green Ford Taurus to help pay the bills. No criminal record, no enemies. Last anyone saw him, he picked up two passengers near Main Street around 11 p.m. The car never came home. 2 days later, a fisherman found his body floating in the river, hands tied behind his back, strangled with a piece of rope. The Taurus was gone. Cash, phone, everything taken. At the time, we figured it was just one terrible robbery. We had no idea we were looking at the beginning of something much worse. 3 weeks later, it happened again. This time, the victim was Frank Garcia, 35 years old. He'd come up the hard way, driving a beat-up red Chevy Cavalier, trying to build a better life for his kids. Same pattern. Picked up passengers, never made it home. His body turned up on a deserted patch of land just outside the city limits. Strangled, no blood in the car, wallet and phone missing. The red Cavalier was gone too. Now the taxi drivers were starting to talk. Guys who'd been on the road for years suddenly wouldn't pick up fares after dark. They were scared. And I'll be honest, so was I. Because this didn't feel like random street crime anymore. This felt organized. Then came the day everything changed. March 27th. Two bodies discovered within hours of each other on that same empty lot behind the old warehouse district. Mark Reynolds and Stephen Brooks, both independent cabbies, both strangled with the same kind of rope. Their cars were missing, their phones and cash gone. 4 good, hard-working men in less than a month, all of them just trying to earn a living. The city was in shock. The local news called it the cabbie killer. Taxi companies started offering escorts for night shifts. Families begged their husbands and sons not to go out. And me? I was staring at 4 files on my desk, knowing we had almost nothing. By now the pattern was clear. Same method every time. 2 men posing as passengers. Strangle from behind so there's no blood in the car. Take the vehicle, the cash, the phone. Then they'd either strip the cars for parts or sell them dirt cheap for drinking money. These weren't master criminals. They were vicious, lazy, and cruel. They targeted independent drivers because we worked alone, carried cash, and had no dispatch watching our backs. 4 lives erased for a few $100 and a stolen car. It made me sick. Then we caught our first real break. One of the stolen phones, Stephen Brooks's, suddenly powered on. We pinged the signal and moved fast. When we got there, we found another cabbie who'd just been given that exact phone. He was shaking. Told us he'd picked up 2 guys earlier that night. Something felt wrong, the way they kept watching him in the mirror. He pulled over, said he needed a cigarette, and stepped out. They didn't follow. Instead, they left him the phone in lieu of payment and left. He got lucky, he lived, and he gave us the first solid descriptions. We put out sketches within hours. 2 men, one older, calm and calculating, the other younger, nervous. Tips started pouring in. Meanwhile, one of the stolen cars, a silver Ford Escort, showed up at a shady used car lot. The seller was asking way too little cash, no questions asked. That led us straight to William Billy Cooper. We grabbed him quietly. He had a rap sheet a mile long. And when we searched his place, we found a silver ring that belonged to one of the victims and paperwork for 2 of the missing cars. We put Cooper under surveillance and got a warrant for his phone. That's when we heard the voice of the real boss, David Dave Harlan. Cold, smart, the one who planned every detail. The third man, Ronald Ron Fletcher, was the muscle. They'd already picked their next target. We listened as they laughed about how easy it was to strangle a man from the back seat. I'll never forget the chill that went down my spine that night. We didn't wait. At 4 a.m. the next morning, the SWAT team hit all 3 locations at once. No shots fired. Harlan, Cooper, and Fletcher were in custody before the sun came up. In the interviews, they started talking. Harlan was the brains, the one who figured out how to make murder profitable. The other 2 just followed orders and spent every dollar on booze. All 3 had met years earlier in prison. The trial was brutal. At first, all 3 confessed. Then Cooper and Fletcher tried to walk it back, claimed they found the cars with keys still in them. The jury didn't buy it for a second. After 2 weeks, they were convicted on all 4 murders. Harlan, the planner, got a lighter sentence because he never actually pulled the rope himself. But the other 2, they got decades. I sat in that courtroom and watched the families. No amount of prison time would bring their sons and husbands back, but at least the streets were safer. It's been almost 20 years now. I'm retired. But every time I see a taxi at night, I think about those 4 men who just wanted to work. This case taught me that evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it just looks like 2 guys who need a ride. But I promised you the truth, so here it is. The story you just heard happened in 2006 in Astrakhan, Russia, not here in America. The city was a mid-sized river port, and the victims were ordinary working men trying to feed their families. The first victim was 18-year-old Artyom Kozhin. He was driving his father's green VAZ 2107. The second was Oleg Shekhmametyev, who had recently moved from Uzbekistan. Then, on March 27th, 2 more bodies were found on the same abandoned lot, Timur Kuchashvili and Sergei Kreskov. All 4 were strangled with rope. Their cars and phones were stolen. The gang was exactly 3 men who had met in prison. Adam Saikhanov, the cold, calculating leader who planned every murder. Vyacheslav Kuleshev, the main executor. Renat Shakushev, the third accomplice. They used the exact same method I described. Pose as passengers, strangle from behind, steal the car, strip it or sell it cheap, and drink the money away. They were caught the same way. One of the stolen phones suddenly turned on. A surviving driver gave a description after narrowly escaping, and they were arrested trying to sell one of the cars. All 3 confessed at first, then 2 tried to recant. In 2007 to 2008, the court sentenced Vyacheslav Kuleshev, 26 years in strict regime prison. Renat Shakushev, 24 years. Adam Saikhanov, only 6 years and 6 months. The victims' families were devastated by how light Saikhanov's sentence was. That's the real case behind everything you just heard. 4 ordinary men gone forever because 3 criminals wanted easy money and didn't care who had to die for it.